What is up, guys? Rick Cacus here, and today we are going to be discussing some brand spankin' new Destiny news, and that's because the Bungie weekly update has just been released. Now, before we get into all of the new news, just want to say that, guys, if you enjoy this content and want to see more, please remember to support it by liking, commenting, and especially sharing. It's a simple thing to do, but it really helps me out. So, on to today's news. Now, there's actually a lot of very interesting information that was announced in today's weekly update. Firstly, I'm going to talk about a lot of issues that I'm sure a lot of you guys have been talking about, and that has to do with Crucible Balance. Of course, Hotfix 2.5.0.2 hit Destiny recently, and there's been a lot of issues involving that. You know, people unhappy, of course, about the glitches, but also people very happy with the outcome of the meta. There's been, quite a debate, and I don't want to say one side is completely right over the other, anything like that. However, Bungie, very interestingly, and they said they're doing this in the spirit of openness and transparency because they've been criticized for the lack of those things, so hopefully they'll continue this trend. They're talking about potential fixes and improvements they're looking at for the next update. Now, we don't know when that next update is going to be. However, this is good news. I like to hear this from Bungie where they're talking about, what they're thinking about doing. Firstly, they're talking about sidearms. Of course, sidearms with the new special ammo economy are everywhere. Their usage has skyrocketed. I think on the first day of the new trials, they had like over 50% usage. It's insane. Now, they're looking to kind of counteract this massive usage factor by limiting their ammo a little bit. You'll continue to spawn with ammo, but it's going to be reduced somewhat, and you're not going to be able to increase it and stack it to anything extra and still keep that bonus upon respawning. So you're going to just have more limitations within your sidearm ammo capacity, and that should kind of limit the usage. Now, I should mention before we get into the other important things that Bungie is looking at, that Bungie also did say that these changes are just things they're looking at right now. They're likely to change, and it's possible that they get scrapped entirely. So just keep that in mind. The next thing is memory of scory. A huge, ordeal in PvP, especially in Trials of Osiris, as people will just camp in the back with the memory of scory, get their supers way faster. Bungie is looking to limit this by, and this is a kind of interesting idea, you have to get a kill to jumpstart the memory of scory ability. So you have to have a full super and you have to actually get a kill. You can't just camp in the back. Then the memory of scory is going to be active for 60 seconds, and then you're going to need to get another kill. This is going to limit the kind of camping nature of the scory in Trials of Osiris, but will still keep it very viable in PvE, because, it's very easy to get kills every 60 seconds in PvE. So I actually think that's a pretty good idea. Next we have, the Truth Exotic Rock Launcher. I'm sure you guys have some pretty strong opinions about that. Well, they admitted that, maybe we went a little too far on that. Yeah, I think you did. Anyways, instead of just bringing it to 2 rounds in the magazine, I don't know why they weren't doing that, they are looking at increasing the reload speed to maximum, like the fastest reload speed you can get on rocket launchers to accommodate this 1 round of the magazine, and adding 1 additional rocket to your backpack, which both of those changes are definitely going to make the Truth better than it is now, but will it be enough? That remains to be seen. In any event, I'm glad they are at least admitting that they went too far with that rocket launcher. Moving on, we have the No Land Beyond. Just like how sidearms have skyrocketed in usage, the No Land Beyond has also skyrocketed in usage. Like, it was the #1 utilized primary weapon in Trials of Osiris. That's insane. The No Land Beyond. When that came out, like back in the Dizzy in year 1, if someone had said this would be the most used like PvP primary, I would have been like, you are an idiot. Like, there's no way. Well, things have changed. Anyways, how they're going to address this is they said they've finally potentially found a way to reduce its flinch value. Essentially right now, No Land Beyond doesn't get sniper rifle style flinch, so when you're being shot and you're using the No Land Beyond, it's going to act kind of like a normal primary. You don't get flinched around a lot, and that makes it very easy to use. They have always talked about, people have been complaining about this for a long time, and they've said it's very complicated, it's a weird code that we don't know how to change. Well, apparently they've found potentially what will change that feature. So utilizing the No Land Beyond, it's still going to be a powerful weapon, but it won't be that insane, and you won't get that many kills while you're being shot at. Next, Blink. Blink was nerfed into the ground for reasons unknown to basically everyone. They literally admit that they went too far, that there's too many nerfs over the years on Blink, and they're going to roll back some of those nerfs. Firstly, they're going to remove the old recovery buff entirely, so you will now hopefully have less time to be able to draw your weapon and stuff like that after you blink. And additionally, they're looking to pull back the time it takes for the HUD to, remain gone with this new Blink nerf. Right now, if you blink, your HUD disappears for a ridiculously long time. So hopefully this will make Blink just viable again. I don't want to see the year one where everyone was using Blink and Titans were just left in the dust to cry alone and just not be able to sleep at night and stuff like that because they can't blink. But seriously, Blink is completely underused right now. I don't want it to be overpowered, but I want it to be usable. Now, before we move into the next topic of Destiny news, which is the full announcement of the next Iron Banner, super excited for that, I do need to say that this sort of transparency, that they're talking about stuff they're looking at internally, so we can talk to them and have a dialogue about what they should do if they're on the right path, etc. This is fantastic. This is great news, and the reason they're doing this is because the community criticized them for not doing this. If they had come out and transparently said before this new hotfix that, hey, we're looking at a nerf to Hungering Blade, people would have said that may not be the best idea, and maybe we would have avoided a huge debacle, a huge problem with this most recent patch. So this benefit to transparency is fantastic, and it came about from people criticizing Bungie and telling them this needs to stop. So thank you, Bungie, for listening to us, for changing, and again, I hope this continues. Now, Iron Banner. I was not really expecting this, but it's coming, and it is kind of in February. In fact, it begins Tuesday, February 28th, the last day of February at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and it ends Tuesday, March 7th at 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the featured game mode is going to be Supremacy. And I'm absolutely not joking about that. I used to make that joke before. It is going to be Supremacy. Now, we haven't had Supremacy since the first Iron Banner after the Rise of Iron. And a lot of people don't really have fond memories of that. However, you do have to remember, for all the people going, what the hell? Oh my god, this is horrible, all that stuff. Remember, the meta has shifted massively. Last time, it was a shotgun fest. It was pretty frustrating to play in Iron Banner Supremacy last time, but now shotguns are really dialed back in the whole special ammo economy, so I don't think it's going to be as bad as people remembered. It's going to be an entirely different beast, actually, with this new meta. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying it'll be the most fun thing ever, but just it's not likely to be as bad. Now, for the featured weapons and armor. Firstly, we have the Laughing Heart Sniper Rifle. This is a medium impact sniper rifle that has some pretty good overall stats, but nothing absolutely incredible. If you can get a good roll, it can definitely function well in PvE and PvP. Next up, we have the Lingering Song Hand Cannon. This is one of the highest impact archetypes of hand cannons, so it's going to kill still in 3 shots, but it's going to do a massive amount of damage with each one of those shots. The special things about these hand cannons is that if you can get something like Luck in the Chamber, and you get that Luck in the Chamber headshot, you can, with one other shot, kill an opponent pretty easily. And in Iron Banner, when light advantages are on, if you are fighting lower light opponents, and you have a 400 light lingering song, it can do over 100 damage. I was doing that last time, and it can just two-shot the crap out of people. Really fun gun to use, actually, for the Iron Banner. Now moving on to the armor, the featured armor is going to be helmets and leg armor. And that is all of the information about the next Iron Banner. This is the first one in a very long time. Like, I can't even remember another one that started in 1 month and finished in another. Although, you know, you only have 1 day in February. So the question does remain, will there be another March Iron Banner, like at the end of March? And this is technically the February Iron Banner? Pretty interesting question. We don't know the answer just yet. I hope they do have 2 Iron Banners quicker to each other, because otherwise we will have kind of missed out on a month. Next up, we have the Next Bungie Bounty. It is going to be the streamer Yogando Play, and he's from Brazil, and that's where the region is going to be as well. 6 p.m. Pacific time on the 25th of February on the PlayStation 4 playing Clash. Unfortunately, again, PlayStation 4, I'm sorry Xbox players, like, you guys are really getting the shaft when it comes to these Bungie bounties. I really hope Bungie starts to mix it up with people who can go on the Xbox One, because there is a pretty healthy Destiny community on the Xbox that is kind of being ignored right now. And guys, that is really it for this week's new Destiny news. Now, at the very end, it was mentioned that next week, Teased will be back. The person who wrote this weekly update was Cosmo. Teased will be back next week, and he talks about he will draw a roadmap for what we can expect for the month of March. That's kind of interesting. A roadmap for March? What's happening in March? That's kind of weird. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a tease next week about maybe at the end of March we're going to get some actual proper information about the spring update coming in 2017. Again, that's been confirmed by Bungie. There's going to be a big spring update, but that's pretty much all we know. Hopefully, by the end of March, we'll know more than that, for goodness sakes. Guys, hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. Now again, if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny content and want to be kept up to date with the latest Destiny news, be sure to slap that subscribe button. And if you actually want to be notified of new uploads, be sure to press the bell beside subscribe. Now, if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.